Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so happy to be here with you with Pink and Vein. As you can see, I have the new foil of the month. That's what it is. The foil of the month kit. I don't have the sentiment smaller foilable pack, but I do have the main sheets and then the foil. So that's what we're going to be using tonight. I did see a bunch of people already checking in the comments. I saw Diane was here checking in from Texas. Mom's here. Susan's checking in from Georgia. I see Miss Annette checking in from Montreal. Welcome, welcome. I see Miss Connie. I see Kelly. I see Lori checking in. Miss Darcel is here. I'm so happy to see you guys. So, like I said, we're going to be using the new foil, and this is called Dimensional Red. And you can see it has a very cool texture to it. It's not quite like the tinsel. The tinsel stripes are very bold, okay? But it definitely has that, I don't even know. They're not like lines. It almost looks like fur. It's a very fun and very, very beautiful red. Let's see, I see Judy checking in and Lori's here. I see Frida. Virginia, welcome back. Everybody was asking about you on Tuesday. I see Mindy. I see Miss Polly checking in from Texas too. And Sharon and Melissa made it. Perfect. So I'll show it again because a whole bunch of people just came in too. So this is the new foil of the month. This is Dimensional Red, and she's very cool. She's not quite like the tinsel. She's very. It's like it like shifts. It's almost like fur or like velvety almost. It's a very cool. And so it's a great Christmas red. That's what we're going to be using. And we're pairing it up with the new Holiday Foliage sheets. So let's pull these out and I will show you guys. Hey, Bernadine, checking in from DC. All right, so for these you get, um, there's 8 different toner panels. So we have the poinsettias, where they'll be red. This is what we're going to be using tonight. We also have the reverse. So everything that's black would be your foil, and then the white would stay white. We have these really pretty pine cones, and that reverse. I love this one. I think this is great for like winter in general too. We've got some holly, and of course that reverse. And then we've got the pine needles, and then the reverse of that. So very cute. Definitely a fun variety here to play with all different colors of foil. Because we're going to be using the dimensional red, I wanted to stick with the poinsettias. Not that you can't, do whatever is speaking to you, but I want red flowers for this. So we're going to do 3 3/4 by 5 because I know I'm going to want to mat this. So I'd rather, instead of just cutting it in half and then, wasting a piece, we'll just trim it down the extra to start so that we have a bigger piece to work with later. Hey, Diana. Well, I hope you had a good day with her, Melissa. I'm sure some extra family time right now is wonderful. Um, oh, Sharon, yeah, you for sure picked a great month to join. Um, this is an amazing set and great foil. Okay, as you can see too, I grabbed an old favorite for this the stamp set that I'm going to pair with this. And the only one of these I haven't used yet is the nutcracker. So I thought he would be really cute with our poinsettias, and he has his little holly so we can tie in the red. But with that, and he's going to have like a black hat, I thought it would be fun to kind of mat this in like a very thin bit of red, of black, and then put it on white, is what I'm thinking. We also could pull out some stop sign red if we want. But the first thing we need to do is foil. So I have my mini Minc here. We're going to turn it up to 3, and we can prep our foil and our foilable. I'm also going to be coloring with Copics today since we have been doing a lot of, nope, sorry. I'm going to be coloring with Olos today because I have been coloring a lot with Copics. It was time to, do you know what this does? This reminds me of, I just clicked. Back in the day, back in the 90s, there we had like holographic like a bookmarks, and those like they aren't holographic, but it like shifted. The image would shift when you twisted it. That's what this looks like in person. Like I think you can kind of see it from the shadow. Like it looks like it's moving. It's very trippy. I really like it though. All right, we'll cut a little extra. I don't want to waste it though. This would also, I know that there's people that are going to be like, we're here to talk about Christmas. This would also be a fun one for Halloween and fall. This red is very pretty. Would make a great spooky red. All right, I have my, yeah, Melissa, the mug sets, the fall and the Christmas mug sets are some of my favorites. The Christmas mug set was my very first Pink and Main design team product, like design team project that I ever did. The Santa mug. It was part of YouTube Hot before I was even officially on the team. I was a guest designer for YouTube Hop with my Santa mug. All right, so I dusted off my panel. I dusted off the back of my foil, and we're going to place it so that pretty sides are both facing up. So our pattern is up and our foil is up. Place it in our carrier sheet and then just gently set it in until the machine picks it up. Push a Frog, this cutting thing is a Fisker's wire trimmer. I got mine at Michael's. You could probably also get it on like Amazon or something, but I got mine from Michael's and it works great. I do need to change my little blade thingy, but it comes with extra blade thingies too. Jenny, I try really hard to always brush my foil and my panel. I do a bunch of other random things at my desk, like dip powder nails. And so I end up with regular house dust and nail dust and God knows what else over here. So for me, if I don't, we've had many a time on our lives, on our live streams of when I've forgotten to dust them and I get spots and dots and it goes crazy. So I do try very hard to brush my foil and my panel every time. I'm not perfect about it, but I do try. Hey Heather, I'm glad you could make it. Let's see. Yeah, Darcel, as nice as it looks on the video, I promise you in person it's even better. I know Michelle said the same thing in her video. She had a hard time getting it to like show the movement right. In person, it's 100 times better. I see Denai checking in from Utah. I see Mary Ann checking in. Well, hello, welcome, welcome. Hey, Linda. All right, am I caught up? I think I'm caught up. Okay, let's go ahead and peel. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Let's see. There you can kind of see. But like as it twists, you can see it looks like it's moving. It's a very trippy. I really like it though, and it's just a very cool red. So that's going to be our main foiled background piece. We also have the reverse that we can foil. I already turned off my Minc, so apparently I'm not going to foil the reverse image tonight, but I'm just going to slip this back in here for now so that I don't lose it. And we could do that on a full toner sheet. This, yeah, very fun. It really catches the light, very cool. Okay, so we're going to then matte this little guy up. Gonna add in some paint thinner. This card might go quick. We might end up with a second project. Yeah, the reverse ones are really pretty too. Worst case, they'll at least do that. Minimum, I should say, not worst case. Minimum, we'll go back and do our reverse image. Okay, so there's a little thin black matte. I don't know yet if I want to commit to white or red for like the main panel, so we'll just set that to the side for now. And let's stamp and color our cute little mug. Oh, that's a perfect scrap. Hey, Gail. I'm so glad that you got to drop in. You have a good weekend too. And we'll see you back soon. Okay, get our little nutcracker. It made me so sad that he's the only one that I haven't used yet. And I love the sentiments on these. We'll do like a big, bold, cut out sentiment. We'll cut our own strip. They don't have, right, yeah, these don't have. Oh, you know what else though? We need all the accessories. What else should we put in here? I'm thinking whipped cream and the candy cane maybe? Okay. Also, I can give you the babiest of hints. If you like this card, you're going to be very excited about the man, I really need to read this. You're going to be really excited about the new release. I need to re-ink that. So we're going to borrow some. We're going to borrow Honeybee's ink. I will re-ink my Pink and Main Asphalt for next week. That way I can really let it sit and soak through. Last time I tried to do it right away and it just made a mess. Apologies. Oh, Denai, you have to try. I promise it's not as hard as it seems. You saw we did it super quick. And even then, when I mess them up, which sometimes happens, we always still manage to make it work somehow. You can always add a little embellishment or, add something here or there where you need if you have a little mistake, a little hiccup, but it's it's pretty easy to do once you get like the system down. Most of the work is really on the machine, and I've never had an issue with my Minc not doing a good job. So as long as I do my part, I'm usually pretty good. Let's see. All right, that's a pretty good zoom. I did stamp this onto my ice rink cardstock from Pink and Main, so a nicer heavyweight white cardstock, which will be very convenient for our for Olos. Olos love Olo Markers love ice rink cardstock. I'm still learning my Olos, so we're going to use Sandy Almac's texture for these skin tones. I'm thinking in here, and that actually seems pretty good, I think. Maybe a 4.0 if I need lighter. Doesn't have a lot of skin tone showing. So I'm going to start with an O 7.3. And we'll come around the outer side. Those are his teeth. So we'll skip around that bottom part. We can fill in under his mustache. And then under the hat. And then I guess we'll just like pick one side of the nose. We'll just blend that in with the next shade lighter, that 7.1. We need just like a little more motion. Just going to kind of flick that color out just a little more. Because I'm not sure I really want to go a lot darker. I just want more of that darker color showing. Okay. And we need, I was gonna make his hat black, but I guess his hair could be like, I want his hair to be black, I think. I'm changing my decision here. Hey Sharon and Elizabeth. I'm so glad you guys could make it. I think I'm gonna go warm gray for my black. So we're gonna do his little mustache. I'm gonna add some shadow to the bottom part, and then I'm gonna like flick in a couple little stripes too. Okay, and then we can bring in some dark at the top under his hat, and then kind of follow those artist drawn lines and flick in some shading at the bottom. And we'll bring in some green or something fun on his hat if it ends up being too much black. We're not going Halloween Christmas, don't worry. I just really like the contrast that the black adds for something like this where I knew somewhere on it there was going to be. All right, our next and last gray is a W5. So we did 9, 7, and 5. There we go. Oh, and his eyebrows. Silly me. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. I also feel bad. I definitely forgot to put the link in the group. There's his eyebrows. He also needs some pink cheeks. He's got these blush marks already on there for us, so we know exactly where they go. So we'll go with a little RO2. And give him some little soft pinky cheeks. Those are really light. That's a bit, I guess, 0.4. I don't know, that's orange. 5.3. That's true. Oh yeah, that's better. There we go. Now you can see what it is. For his teeth, I suppose a little C1, like just a little tiny bit at the top, and then just like a simple line down. There you go. You can see just like that little hint of a shadow. That should be fine. All right, now I know for sure I want the holly to be traditional holly colors. So let's start there. So I have a little G 1.8. So I'll add some of that to that center part of the holly leaves. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was very kind. I appreciate it. It's a bit darker than I thought it would be. Let's bring in something a little lighter, 1.5 it looks like, at least on this front one. There we go. We'll leave those out just in case. And we need a little holly berry red. Darcel, for the tooth color, I just added a touch of CG1, the cool gray one. Okay. I mean, we could just do a different black for the hat. I want the handle to be red though, so let's go ahead and do that. So for the handle, the inside would be darker, right, than the outside, and the top and the bottom would be the darkest. We can add just a touch of that darker red here, but I want it to be a lot less than that inner handle part. I'll shade that section in now with our medium. And then for the outside, we'll leave a ton of room for a highlight. And that will help kind of push the rest of that back into shadow. 5. Maybe a little orange, but should be okay. And we can always, you know, give a little comparison to make sure we're on the right path. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do black for the hat. So for this little decorative band, we'll come in with that darkest, and I'm kind of making little bumps in there that mimic the artist's drawn line. So our curves, it kind of just follows that curve. Oh, Melissa, that makes me happy. Nothing could make me happier while making a Christmas card than somebody saying they drank a pumpkin spice latte and thought of me. All right, for this, there's like a little band under that band. So we'll bring our green in here, just a touch of the dark and medium, and a bunch of that light, just like we did on that mug handle. And don't be afraid to overlap those colors so that you get a nice blend. Right, and then to change it up and make sure that his hat and his hair look different, we're going to switch over to our cool grays, our darkest ones. So we're going to start with a CG9, and I want this inner part. This is going to be where the whipped cream goes, so some of it might get covered. That's okay. Well, this is a very juicy marker. She's going to drip. It's going to drip on my paper where I don't want you to go. And there's no way for me to. Okay. We're going to add our shadow lines to either side. And because this is going to be a like a ceramic mug, right? We can have for sure a really healthy shine highlight so that where our darkest shade is not touching the edges. Okay. Well, sometimes that happens and your markers leak. Okay. We're gonna generally avoid that spot for right now. But I'm not giving up. I will not admit defeat. I'm new enough to Copics or to Olos that please don't ask me why it did that. I don't know. From my understanding, they're not supposed to do that. So I don't know. I could tell with the other one that it was going to do that. I could not tell that second time. All right, go in with our C5, blend that out. Between our gel pens and this whipped cream, that's going to be the easiest thing in the world to cover up, though. How cute is he? Oh, I love him. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, let's do our candy cane. So we talked about this the other day. Jenny, I store mine flat. They're on marker towers on either side of my filmings thing, and they're flat in there. So I don't think that that is the problem. So for my candy cane, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start adding my gray highlight to everything. Linda, I would be nervous to use the colorless blender, the 0, because it might just keep pushing it out even further, like into the other colors or into the white. So for me, like I said, because I'm going to be putting this on top anyway, I'm just going to leave it because it's going to cover it up completely, like where it fell. Depending on where it splotched, if this was like just in general, you could move it, push it out a little bit. That one's tough because it is pretty dark, but you can see like how much soaked through the paper versus like regular coloring. And so if we start adding colorless blender, the 0 to that, it's really gonna bleed. So I went in and added the one more line of shading or blending to the candy cane. We're going to give that a second to dry before we come back in with our red. And then for our whipped cream, I want something that's like a little bit of a cream color, not a pure white. So we're going to come in with a little OR. No, we're not. That's very peach. And it's very pink. What are we going to come in with? Oh, 4.1 or oh, 4.4. 4.1, 4.0. That's what I meant. Okay. We're going to come in with a little O 4.1. This could be some of the same colors we used on his skin tone. I don't even know. I don't even remember anymore. I don't think so. All right, so I'm adding my shading to the bottom of each whipped cream layer and then to this top little curve with the 4.1. And then with the 4.0, we'll just blend that edge out a little bit. But we want to leave some white space so that this still looks white. Okay. Elizabeth, well, if it hadn't dripped, it wouldn't have been an issue. I color on my glass mat for all of my Copic and Olo coloring, and I haven't noticed a difference from when I was just coloring on the desk. So I don't know that it's making a huge difference because the rest of my coloring still went great. It's just that drip. The drip has it out for me. All right, then I'm going to come back in with my R 1.5 and we're just going to shade in every other. And because alcohol markers are translucent, they will, the gray being underneath will tint our candy cane. And so it will look like it's been shaded as well. Okay, and then I'm gonna really live life on the edge here for a second, and we're gonna give red sprinkles to our whipped cream with the teeniest, tiniest little edge of this brush that bullet brush tip that I can manage. There we go. All right, let's get our gel pens out. The magic eraser. Like I said, I think this is going to cover completely, but just in case, we can edit out that top little blur so easily. But because I want this to look like a ceramic mug, we're definitely going to want to add some bold highlights to this guy. So we'll give him a little smattering of highlight here. Let's see. His hair would be shiny where it's curved. We can pull some down around his face. Today's just going to be that kind of day. Okay, found the 8. You don't want to hang out, you don't have to hang out. There we go. And a little highlight on that handle. Cute. Oh yeah, Sharon, the candy cane, you can get like such a good pop without having to do all of that extra shading if you don't want to. There are still some times that I do the extra shading, but it's not often because I just think that you do get a good solid blend when you do that gray underneath. Okay, so there's our mug. Let's get our coordinating dies. What did I do with the stamp set? There it is. Okay. Whatever happened to you? You just like completely forget. I did, Melissa. I tried on the hand, I tried on the towel, I tried on the paper. He didn't want to color. That's okay. Some days I don't want to color either. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Let's get some washi. Line up those dies. Run this through die cut machine. This is this big shot that I've got over here on the bookshelf next to this. Okay. Got all these. And just so you can see what I mean, like, here you go. Once we add that, you're never going to see that spot, that drippy spot. So you know this stamp set is old because this is when I used to put magnetic, um, like photo magnet paper of all of my stamp sets for my dies. Like a little, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see what warmest wishes. I kind of like the sugar and spice make holidays nice. Looks like I haven't used that one either, so that seems like a good one to use. And then in honor of Brennan, who apparently was too busy to come hang out with us, I'm leaning towards perhaps adding a vellum layer. Shocking, I know. Because I think it would help separate him from the back, or we could just do foam. I grabbed my extra large sentiment strips. Oh, Melissa, that we just had storms roll through. So I bet you're right. Melissa said, I wonder if barometric pressure changed. We had a huge rainstorm blow through this afternoon, and we're supposed to be getting more storms tonight. So I think that's it. I think you are correct. It did not occur to me that that would be an issue, but it makes sense. Look that perfect that strip is. For those sentiments, those are the extra large sentiment strip dies. See, look, I even have like a little square. We could do just like the littlest piece of vellum. Let's try that, because if I don't love it, it doesn't matter because it's just that little tiny square. Maybe now I'm on a vellum kick. Now maybe I can't be stopped. I'm going to use vellum for everything. Well, I wasn't paying attention, and that's actually a frame. Oh, goodness. And that's not big enough to matter for that. So, joke's on me for that one. Those tiny frames. They're so cute. That wasn't the move. The other thing I grabbed are these, but now these seem enormous. Well, maybe we do that, but we cut it behind the sentiment strip. Let's see how that looks. Brennan, you're right, Darcel. Brennan started school today. That is correct. Yes, and also the fact that he's missing me making Christmas, he will be upset about for sure. I'm sure I'll have a DM waiting later tonight. Okay, for the sentiment, I think just black and white, maybe. Let me see what this looks like with the card. Is here. Right, so like that's it with the card base. Let me just go ahead and attach these because I know how I want this to go. that on the side real quick. I'm sure if he had school today, Mom, he knows that it's uh yeah, I think that's cute. With our sentiment like right under, and we'll trim this so it doesn't hang out the bottom. I don't know. Now I kind of wish it was more circular. I don't know if I have art frames. Do I have circles of art frames? It's a good thing that I organized. Oh, what about this? These are the stitched arch dies. I think that might give me just like a little extra width. I kind of just want it to look more like snow globy, I think, with the shape. Yeah, Marianne, I like the vellum. It's just figuring out the right shape and size. Mm, definitely bigger. Just me having like a whole stash of vellum cutouts. They're cool after this. You guys start thinking, what should our sentiment be on? Should we do white cardstock with black ink? Should it be black with white? Should we do red? Red somewhere? Red ink on. Melissa's saying black sentiment strip. So black with white. Ooh, touch of gloss on the candy cane would be cute. I agree with that. I think I like this arch. Yeah, I like this arch with that sentiment at the bottom. I think that's good. So black with white. I'm saying black with white instead black sentiment strip. Black with white embossed. Got it. Thank you all. Okay. Actually, I was heat embossing white sentiments onto black sentiment strips right before we started. So I have a leftover piece here. Use, and my heat gun is still right here. Oh my god. And speak of Brennan, and he will show up. But I'm officially dropping out of high school. Did AP Euro go that great? Let's get our ink in there, our cardstock in there. Sentiment. I love, 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 love the font on this stamp. Yes, Brennan, we needed you to know. You probably been lurking. That's probably what happened. He's probably been listening and just also doing homework or getting stuff ready or something. So we are making Christmas, and I'm using vellum. So this card is dedicated to you. Maybe I'll send this one to you in honor of dropping out on your first day of school. But yes, this is like my favorite font. I love this very bubbly, handwritten, like hand lettered style. I love it when it looks like a handwriting. piece of paper. I prepped my cardstock with anti-static, the Magic anti-static brush. We're going to go in with our frosting embossing powder. I used my Pink and Neon watermark and embossing ink. That had red glitter on it, so that's good. Now that's got red glitter in my white embossing powder. Love that. Love to hear it. Brennan said I took a 5-hour nap. Oh, good, Brennan. See, I told you, AP Hero was my favorite. See, and Sugar and Spice Make Holidays Nice also counts as a Halloween sentiment. So there you go. Sugar and pumpkin spice also make holidays nice. Cut that out. Oh yeah, cute, cute, cute. Make sure my little sentiment banner makes it back in there. I'll need it back in there. Okay, now I think I've used all of the stamps from that stamp set. Finally. It only took a couple years. All right, let's liquid glue in case I need to shift this around. That had to have been, gosh, is that 5 years? I think that was 2020. So like November of 2020, I think. Maybe 2021. I think I'm almost at 5 years. That's wild. All right, we're gonna do a double foam situation. I'm gonna grab some tiny, because I'm doing foam in 2 different layers, I'm gonna use these teeny tiny little squares. These ones are from Simon Says Stamp. Okay, and we're gonna pop up just wherever, a little smattering. There we go. We'll get him situated on our vellum. That looks good. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip him over and we're gonna put more foam on this side of the vellum. That's gonna pop the vellum up just a little bit off of the foil. It kind of gives that like floating appearance. I did do my nails. Melissa, I did do my nails yesterday. I thought this was a good color for Christmassy creating, but it's still like a, for Christmas, like true Christmas nails, I like a blue base red. This is very much like a orangey fall red, but it's really pretty. Thank you. Okay, there we go. And then our sentiment, we'll just do one layer of foam for that one. How about that? Right, Brennan, floral background, vellum, Christmas. It's got you written all over it. It's okay, I made a Halloween card right before this. Everything's balanced. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right, I'm going to use my little T-square ruler here to make sure that my sentiment is nice and straight. Let's give it a peek before we commit. It's a little high. I think I would like it just a smidge lower. I like that. We'll commit. Okay, there we go. There is our foil of the month. Beautiful new dimensional red. Let me hold it up close so you can see that like a movement in it. It's so cool. Oh, I love it so much. All right. And our little nutcracker mug. Oh, I like this one. And it's a card. Who even am I? It's not even a card front. It's on a whole card base. Where's Misty when I need her? Yeah, I think the vellum does help it to pop. Now I'm on a vellum kick. Every card's getting vellum. We know that's not true, but I definitely do like how this one turned out. I appreciate you guys coming along with me for the ride. I feel like there were some new faces. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will be back on Tuesday next week with more fall. So if you're ready for fall with me, you can come celebrate some more fall on Tuesday. I don't have anything planned yet. We do still need to do those autumn greetings, so maybe we'll finally do that. That foil and stamp and die whole situation. So maybe we'll tackle that next week. But otherwise, if you have requests, you can always put some in for me. Darcel, I am also glad that we had a splotch, but I'm also extra glad that it was in a place that was so easy to cover. But yes, if that happens to you, don't panic. And if it is if it's not fixable, that's the word. If it's not fixable, it's really okay to also start over. That's okay. That just meant the first one was practice. So don't um, don't lose motivation. Stuff happens. Marker drips happen to everybody. That's just life. Um, but we can persevere and make cute cards. So thank you guys again for coming to hang out. I will see you back here on Tuesday. Like I was saying, if you have any requests, you can put them in the comments. I will come back and check. But otherwise, we'll do something fun, whatever it is. And have a great weekend. I'll see you guys back here soon. Until next time, happy crafting. Have a good night, guys.